Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the Bitcoin miners and going to go a little bit over the rest of the crypto space. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so I'm going to keep this relatively short. We're not going to spend a long time on this today, but I did just kind of want to show you guys what's going on with the rest of the crypto market. So crypto is popping off today. As you guys know, today's the elections. They should, I would assume, be done by roughly about 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, maybe around, or sorry, not Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, roughly about 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, you would have to adjust your time zone accordingly. I did leave for you guys a link to Fox News that you can watch for the live coverage of the polling results on X if you guys are curious. Of course, you can look this stuff up in your own time on your respective network, whether you do CNN or Fox or ABC. After the debate between Trump and Kamala, I don't trust anything coming out of ABC probably ever again, truthfully. And usually, I'll tell you guys right now, when it comes to politics, I usually go to Fox News because I think they're a little bit more accurate, okay, and a little bit more unbiased. When it comes to the markets, I usually actually go to CNBC. So anyways, crypto is getting ready to ramp up into the elections. That's to be expected. It is true that regardless of who gets elected, usually crypto does go into a massive bull run. Okay, we saw that with Obama. We saw that with Trump. We saw it with Joe Biden. And we'll likely see it again this year. But again, you guys got to understand, Trump getting reelected is not just about crypto. Okay, it's about everything at this point. It's become so critical at this point that it literally is about everything. All right, so the native crypto space is up. We did load up another $500 worth of crypto this morning. So we loaded up 250 of Filecoin, and I think we're just about at our cap on that. We're probably going to start moving on to other tokens here soon. And also $250 worth of Horizon token. We've loaded up that one as well. We're going to be loading up probably, I'd say, about somewhere between $50 to $100 a day until Bitcoin gets past 74,000. Then we're going to load another 500, and we're probably just going to max out our purchases on crypto because, of course, as you guys know, once Bitcoin goes past 74,000, that's it, game over. Okay, the parabolic phase of the bull run is on at that point. All right, so just wanted to show you guys the rest of the markets. The markets are up today, just so y'all know. Soxel's up, all that jazz, all the stuff that we have. The miners and whatnot. So MicroStrategy, Coinbase up. NVIDIA is even up. You can see pretty much all of these are up. MSTU is up. MSTR, Tesla, even Palantir, if I could find it here. Palantir had earnings after hours, and they just completely exploded to the upside. I mean, I think Palantir is a great stock personally, but after this $10 run up in the last day, and especially the fact that it ran up from like $22 to $50 without stopping, I would not touch it with a 10-foot pole. I think it's hideously expensive right now, and there's better deals in the market. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the miners. All right, so they're up on the day. Again, we do have the call debit spreads. They are still in play. We are still expecting our max profit targets to be hit on these. We also do still have the actual shares of Mara and CLSK here. As you guys can see, we're even considering picking up more. There's this thing on CLSK where our cost basis came down randomly. Not really sure what that's about, but if that's the case, we may just go ahead and buy more. So let's talk about the charts here. All right, so Mara does have earnings coming up. Again, I haven't checked into this personally. I'm not too concerned about the earnings for the miners. I mean, you guys got to understand, the miner profitability is based on whether the price of Bitcoin is the value of the Bitcoin that they mine is higher than the amount that it costs them to mine it, okay? And the cost to conduct their business. If it's higher than that, they're profitable. If it's not higher than that, they're not profitable. So when Bitcoin goes to all-time highs, it would make perfect sense for the miners to go with it because then, you know, there's a very high likelihood they're going to be in profit and the miners are oscillators to Bitcoin, all that jazz, okay? So I'm just trying to give you guys a picture of that. So once again, you can see this kind of inverse head and shoulders pattern here. We did break out of it. Theoretically, I would have wanted to see a breakout immediately and just start screaming to the upside, not the sideways chop that we're seeing, but is what it is. You know, we'll take what we can get while we have it. So the target here, as you guys can see in this particular instance, would be roughly about $24. So again, that pretty much comes back up to this swing high up here. I don't think that's going to be the high, but we'll just have to wait and see on this one. Okay, so if you're looking for a buy area, I'd say somewhere around this kind of 14 to upper 15 range, maybe a good area. If you're worried about it coming below that, maybe even as low as 13. Although at this point in the cycle, I think the miners are probably going to go up instead of going down. Again, once the elections are over, that becomes tailwinds, like I've been telling you guys for eons, okay? As soon as these macro events disappear and the markets gain certainty on a result of an expectation of what they think is going to happen, as soon as that becomes concrete evidence, it becomes a tailwind, okay? And that becomes bullish for the markets. So in terms of the levels here that we're looking at, so above head, we got this, this 17 to 19, and then you got, say, somewhere around 28 to maybe 34. I don't know what the hell happened on the charts here, why this line is all the way out there like that. Yeah, let me go ahead and readjust this, y'all. I don't know what the heck is going on here. Okay, so yeah, there we go, something like that. I don't know why TradingView always does this. It's kind of annoying. It does happen sometimes. Okay, so again, if Bitcoin is going to top out by December or January of this year, theoretically, Mara could go as high, potentially as somewhere around $100, 120, 130. I know it sounds extreme, but I mean, again, Mara did hit $85 on the last cycle. So to say it could go to 100, especially if Trump gets elected with his whole pro-Bitcoin stance, I don't think that's really honestly that much of a stretch, if I'm being completely honest with y'all. So measured moves here could be as high as, well, we'll start with the bottom level here. So 28%, 112%, and you get about 265% to get up to that kind of, where's that, 50, 60, somewhere in there. Now, if this thing just goes stupid and it goes all the way up to the 120s, you're talking about a 700% gain. It can happen. And we did read the comments for y'all about the miners. We have included the requested miners in here, so we're going to talk about that. Okay, so Riot, this one's still cheap, sitting at support. So you got 630 to 930. I mean, it's in the buy zone. You guys can do what you want to with that. 1880 to 21 above head is what we're looking at here. When Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, I'm expecting these miners to actually move extremely fast to the upside. I think it's going to be faster than what most people are probably expecting. So 124% gain here. Just so you guys know, the next level is kind of right around that 35 to 40, which is where our strike prices are for this particular set of call debit spreads. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but you can see we're lining up levels in macro structural support resistance, Bollinger Bands, kind of everything technical you can think of to line up these call debit spreads for kind of the perfect asymmetric trade, so to speak. So previous all-time high up here at 80, CLSK. Again, I don't know what the heck is going on here, y'all. This thing just really randomly wants to move around. Why though? Why? I just don't get it. Okay, so yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so CLSK, we're sitting on macro support here. So again, the buy area could be anywhere from kind of 930 to about $14 is what I'm looking at. You have 21 to 24, 36, 37, somewhere in there to about 43. And of course, this wedge pattern, you know, you're looking at maybe around 70, $80, somewhere in there. It could definitely happen. I mean, it depends on when the miners top out. If they top out in December or January, that's right around where it would be, somewhere around $70 to $90. And I'm aware of, I guess, there's share dilution on CLSK and some of these other miners. To be honest, I'm not worried about it. It's kind of just the nature of how they have to do things. You know, they have to choose between that and selling their Bitcoin. If they hold their Bitcoin long term, I'd say that's actually more bullish for the price of these miners. You know, if they had favorable regulations like they would with Trump being in office, then maybe they wouldn't have to dilute their shares so much. Just saying. Okay, so 137%, 340%, and then we'd be looking at somewhere around those 600% area, 600% gain. You guys can see that the top for CLSK back here in 2021 was at 44. And then before that, it was even higher than that. So it was kind of up in the mid hundreds. I will say that regardless of the share dilution, I think that also doesn't really matter because I mean, it matters to an extent, but not really so much because again, these things are oscillators to Bitcoin. Okay, they go up with Bitcoin. So support down here, I'd say about 890. You could go maybe even as low as 610. Again, I think that's only probably going to happen with a black swan. This one's a little bit more expensive. I wouldn't buy this one. I'd rather buy the other three. That's just me. So 17 to 2270, and then you got about 29 to 33 here. The all-time high for HUT 8, I believe, was about $80. So 109% gain here. And then, of course, you have the 80 something at the all-time highs up there. Okay, so next one on the list here, we got CIFR. This one also, in my opinion, is expensive. If you're holding this for a 5, 10, 20x or whatever you think you're going to get on the miners, then you're probably not caring too much about it being at 560. So the previous all-time high here would have been at 16. Again, if I just do like a macro here, macro retracement, and again, this will not be perfect exactly, but it can kind of give you an idea of where maybe the next levels might be, somewhere between like 24 to about 65. So definitely possible with these smaller miners. Again, like I've told you guys before, the smaller a market cap of something is, the greater potential upside it has. So I would say that's definitely possible. Personally, I think that this probably actually is a support zone now. It looks to me like it's going to be. So $5 to 550. If you think it's going to pop, then maybe here's your area to buy. If you think it's going to drop, then maybe consider waiting to get back in down here at 210 to 270. Again, the pullback into the support was very short-lived, so if you missed it, I would totally understand. So 950 to 10 is going to be the next level here. So about 97% gain. Okay, BTBT. Again, this one is a little expensive. I'd rather buy Mara, Riot, or CLSK over these three because they're already hitting a major target level. So support down here, 160 to $2. Resistance 420 to about $5. And then the previous all-time high was at 33. Again, if you guys have BTBT, I'm not going to go over retracements on every single one of these levels, but you can see the levels could be as high as like $150. I mean, it's possible. Again, CLSK went to $150 at one point, and Mara and Mara, Riot, and HUT 8, these four up here being, I believe, the biggest miners out there, they all hit at least $80 at one point, so it's possible. Again, if this is a smaller miner and it does become bigger at some point, you would think it could go to like at least 80, right? That's just my opinion. Of course, that's pure speculation, but usually these smaller market caps that can grow with time do eventually end up getting bigger, and they kind of tend to repeat history. So 195% gain there, BITF. So we got this triangle pattern. Whether it plays out bullish or bearish remains to be seen based on the cycle timing. I would say the likelihood is that it's actually going to be bullish. If you're worried about it, the bear market lows here at 38 to 91. If you're not worried about it, then 194 to 240, and then the targets would be anywhere from $3 to, looks like about 930 on this one. So if I just measure it from the current price, we'll just go from current price because, again, that is right below support, so that's actually even a better deal. 443% gain. Iron. This, I believe it was Iron, Hive, and Wolf was requested, so we did go ahead and add these in here for you guys. So bear market lows here, 97 cents to 350. And again, the miners is definitely something we're going to look at getting massive amounts of, at least a couple of them during the bear market lows, because it's hard to beat buying one of these miners at $1 or $2. Okay, it's so incredibly cheap when you see them go up to 28 and then they pull back to $1 and you're like, I don't know if I want to buy this. Let me think about it. I'm not really sure about that one, man. It looks like it's not going to go up again, but it's 97% off the all-time highs, and you already know that the miners go up with Bitcoin. So but yeah, we'll be watching again to kind of try to time the bottom of the next crypto bear market. So next level up here is 610 to 785. You got 13, looks like about 1360 to 1820. So if you do get lucky enough to get a pullback into the bottom of this green zone here, about 195% gain. And again, it looks like we didn't really get a lot of data from the previous cycle. You guys can see this thing came out literally the exact month that Bitcoin went into a bear market. So the true all-time high could be much higher than $30, but it's roughly about $28 on this one. So next one here, Hive. I can tell you guys right now, immediately looking at this, it looks like a consolidation, possible accumulation. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. To me, it looks pretty much like it's just getting ready to break out, especially given the cycle timing. So I have not looked at this one before, but I'm just going to go ahead and draw the levels out for you guys so you can see them in a bird's eye view, what we're looking at here. I'm actually going to pull this one back a little bit more so you can see it was previous resistance here before breaking out, and then we eventually turned into support. And then you got kind of that double top up there. You can see these double taps right here. This is known as a double top, which is a bearish pattern. It did play out into a bear market. Okay, so it's in between these zones. If you get a pullback into the green zone, I'd say that's, potential buying opportunity right there. So 210 to 280, and then you got 570 to 750, and then you have roughly about 25 to 29. All-time high on this one was about 29. So from the maximum pullback here, you're looking at about 242 to 1,200% gain. Okay, next one here, Wolf. So this one is interesting. I don't think it's going to play out like this, but I did want to point this out nonetheless. This is a rising wedge. This is also known as a bearish pattern. Okay. Usually when you get a falling wedge, that is a bullish pattern. In this case, it's a bearish pattern. Do I think it's going to play out that way based on the cycle timing? No. Again, but markets love to try to fool people. They love to try to trick people into thinking something's going to happen when it's actually not. Like for example, now everybody and their brother thinks that crypto is going into a bear market and the world is coming to an end and blah, blah, blah. What's the likelihood that that's actually going to happen? Probably not going to happen. Okay. The markets love to try to do the opposite of what everybody else thinks. They love to fool you and believe in one narrative and then go in the opposite direction. That's what markets have been doing for ages. Okay, so macro support down here, 57 to 97, 390 to about 750, and this is for Wolf and going, I don't even know how old this is. Wow. Okay, this one's really been around for a long time. Jesus. Did this used to be something besides a Bitcoin miner? Because pretty sure Bitcoin got created back here. Yeah, I don't know. You guys will have to let me know on that one. I don't know anything about this miner. So anyways, the all-time high up here at $44. So if this does become support, the pullback, if you get the optimal pullback here to the peak, or I should say to the previous all-time high, about 1,000% gain. If we get a pullback into the bear market lows, which again, at this point in the cycle, I highly doubt that's going to happen. I just really, really don't see that happening, withstanding a black swan event. But again, even a black swan event at this point, I think is extremely unlikely. Okay. So you'd get nearly about 8,000% on this, which yes, it is possible. I mean, cryptos can do 200, 500,000 X's. It's been seen many times. All right. Hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.